Everyone asks me about left-hand grooves. This one is a beast, it's modern, it's challenging, it's really fun to play, and by the end of this video, you're gonna have it down. So let's break it down step by step and practice it together. Here's an example of how it sounds with no backing track. Okay, so if you like seeing notation, this is what it looks like. But don't worry too much about that. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. Let's start by learning the first chunk, which also happens to just be the first bar. So what's going on here? Well, this is heavily relying on a very common bass technique where you play the 1, 5, and 9. So we start with that, beginning on the note G. Once we've played that, we move to the note C. And from here, we play 1, 5, 1. Another very common bass pattern. And to finish it off, we come up chromatically to the 9. So all the notes, forgetting about the rhythm for now, go like this. So if you need to, pause the video and make sure you can play all of those notes. And definitely memorize them. You really don't want to be relying on sheet music for this. Next, let's get the rhythm down. For the most part throughout this left-hand groove, we have swung 16th notes, but straight 8th notes. Now, don't worry too much about what that means. The main thing is just to listen to the rhythm and try and copy it as closely as you can. It starts off like this. Try and play that along with me. The next part goes like this. Again, try and play that along with me. I'm going to get a metronome on at 60 BPM and play this on a loop. This is your time to listen, copy, and practice along with me until it sounds exactly the same. Here we go. And again. One more time. Awesome. So you want to keep practicing that until you've got it down. Skip back and keep listening, copying, and practicing along with me until it sounds exactly the same. I really encourage you not to move on until you've got that. Otherwise, it's going to be an absolute nightmare later on, trying to put it all together. Once you've done some practice and you're ready, let's move on to the second chunk. This is how it sounds. This second chunk uses a lot of chromaticism. We start on the note C and come up chromatically to D. And then we do a very similar thing starting on F. coming up chromatically to G. And what's cool is that when we finally land on this G, it lines up with when that G minor chord arrives. But we'll talk more about that in the next lesson. The last part to this chunk is this. Another 1, 5, 1. This time descending instead of ascending like we did earlier. So just the notes, forgetting about the rhythm, this is what we've got. Once you've got that down, it's time to add in the rhythm. So the first 3 notes we play as 8th notes, and then we switch to 16th notes. Another thing to note is that this bar actually starts on the 3rd beat of the bar, not the 1st. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'm going to get a metronome on again at 60 BPM and play this a bunch of times. Just like before, listen, copy, and practice along with me until what you're playing sounds exactly the same as what I'm playing. Here we go. Couple more times. Good stuff. I know I say it all the time, but don't rush through this. If you're picking it up quickly, then that's great. But if it's not sounding exactly the same as what I'm playing, then stick with it and keep practicing before moving on. Before we move on to the 3rd and final chunk, I actually want to put our first 2 chunks together and practice that for a bit. I'm just going to get straight into it, along with a metronome. I'll play it a bunch of times, and you know what to do. One more time. Cool, we've just got one more chunk to learn, and this is how it sounds. So the notes are easy here, but the rhythm is where it gets a little tricky. In terms of the notes, we start on C and come up chromatically to D, just like we did at the start of our 2nd chunk. And then we come back down to C. So in terms of notes, that is literally it. So let's focus on the rhythm. We're going to play the first 3 notes as dotted 8th notes. The easiest way to count this is counting 3 16th notes for each note. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Let's get the metronome on and try that together. If you're struggling, forget about the notes and try just clapping along. Our first note starts on beat 3. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. That's what you need to count here. It's really important that you get that rhythm down. That's the trickiest part of the whole thing, so don't worry if you're struggling with it at first. The last 2 notes are much easier. We just play them as 8th notes. So let's put that last part together and practice along to a metronome. Here we go. One more time. It's a bit wonky that, I know. And I also know what it's like getting frustrated, not being able to play certain rhythms. So if you can do that already, well done. If not, just stick with it. Go back to clapping whilst counting out 3 16th notes during the first part, and just keep at it. You will get it eventually, and it will be really satisfying to play. Once you've got to the point where you can do that comfortably, it's time to put the entire thing together. Just like we've been doing throughout this lesson, I'm going to get a metronome on at 60 BPM and loop it a bunch of times. Play it along with me until it sounds exactly the same. Here we go. Last time. Keep practicing that until you've got it down and it starts to feel comfortable. You don't have to practice along with me. You can obviously just get your own metronome on if you prefer. And once you've got that comfortably under your fingers, your next action step is to slowly increase that metronome, just a few BPM at a time. Maybe try 65 and then 70 and work it up to 74 BPM. That sounds pretty random, I know, but that's just because that is the tempo of the backing track. And it means once you can play it at that tempo, you can then practice it along to the backing track. So I'm going to finish this lesson off by giving that a go. If you're not ready for this yet, just watch and listen for now. So this video is actually part of my flagship roadmap inside PianoPig Academy. It's part of a project from level 2 of the roadmap, and there are 5 more lessons that build on top of this, showing you how to add chords in the left hand, some two-handed voicings, some improvisation, stuff that's really going to get your hand independence stronger and give you a vehicle to just put all of this stuff together and actually have fun whilst practicing. So if you want to keep going with this groove and add those other elements to it, grab yourself a free trial, jump into the roadmap, and you can carry on from where we've left it in this video. Happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next one.